I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce.
And
yeah, I mean, you can't. That's why you can never go to an NFL game at 1 p.m. in the early slate. It's just there's too much going on. Like, you can't be sitting in the stands. You need to be in your living room with the TVs. If you're going to go to a sporting event, it has to be a standalone prime time where you're not missing anything else. So I would imagine college basketball, especially college basketball, there's a billion games on. You can't be sitting in a gym. I need monitors, man.
Okay. There's some exceptions to the rules, but okay. For the most part, yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
There's no exception to the rules.
Baseball season, you can go watch baseball games and not worry about it.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
all good.
baseball, all right, there's 162 of them, whatever.
Hey.
College basketball, like these games, these are big games.
Exactly.
I agree. I
This is
wouldn't
our
want to be in
second
a
last
game.
Saturday.
I was going to say, unless I was at like one of the biggest games, I wouldn't want to be at any of these games tonight or today.
So anyway, good morning to everyone. You know, Matt Perry's getting clowned in the comments, deservingly so. What a moron. We have 31 games to go through, so why don't we get started bright and early here? Tennessee at Texas A&M, and I'm beginning to think almost everybody is on the Aggies here. I didn't bet it yet, but I'm down to bet Texas A&M. Trevor talked about this game twice last night. Toast talked about this game twice last night. So yeah, you guys have probably heard both of these guys' opinion on this game like 3 or 4 times already. But briefly, they both like Texas A&M because they're the home team. They should dominate the rebounding battle. As Toast mentioned in the video, Tennessee's offense has actually been pretty ass on the road, not reliable at all. So yeah, everyone's on Texas A&M here.
Yeah, I don't love the fact that it's flipped over to the fact that I got them at plus 1.5 or on the money line at plus 100, and now it's 2.5 now or whatever the number is. So it's definitely going to be a public side, but I still, everything that as far as what I looked at still holds true. So that Tennessee offense is really, really bad, especially on road games, just like Saw said, and not to mention the fact that they have seen teams that can rebound anywhere close to what Texas A&M can, a la Kentucky twice and Auburn. Their offense looks absolutely terrible, and they can't shoot the 3 ball. And if they're not shooting 3 balls, matter of fact, if they're just not shooting well, they're not going to win the rebounding battle. It's going to be a long night for them. So, again, I went through it as far as yesterday is going through their schedule on the road as well. It hasn't really been impressive. So, yeah, I'm on A&M. Do I love the fact that the world's on it? Not really.
I doubt the world's on it. I'm just saying, I was speaking more like the people I talk to around it. I mean, it's Tennessee.
But my point, I see it a lot. It's like one of those, like we call them now, like Twitter plays, where all the sharp Twitter people are on A&M and stuff like that. So I don't know if you could call them that at 2.5, but yeah.
Speaking of all the fake sharp Twitter people, Trev, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm on A&M also here, man. The king of the fake sharp is on Texas A&M right now. So, yeah, rebounding battle at Tennessee on the road hasn't been great. They did get that road win at Texas, but that was after that 30-point bend over that Florida gave them. And then they beat Oklahoma. So, I mean, congratulations on that. So, they haven't been good on the road. Texas A&M off of a loss. The Buzzsaw at home. I know it's moved a lot, which kind of sucks because, like I've said before, CLV is kind of a curse in college basketball. So getting this much of a move is kind of scary, but I'll go down with the ship. Like Tennessee, their offense is putrid. So I'll ride with Wade Taylor in the game today.
I don't even think I'm going to bet this game, to be honest. I was cool.
Now.
Yeah, now it's at 2.5. I'm good, honestly. I don't think I have any bets on the noon games, though. I got to find something. Oh, I know what I want to bet. We'll get to it.
Also,
I already know what you're thinking.
Shout out. Thanks for adding the schedule in that video. That was a nice little thing for me. Thank you.
What schedule?
And in the video, I was rambling about Tennessee's schedule, and you put it in there, and I was like, "Ooh, God, he makes me look good."
Yeah, you didn't include it in the folder.
I know. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh no!" I rambled for like 30 seconds, and I was like, "Oh, he's got me."
Yep, I threw it in. Florida State, Louisville, I believe Trevor's exact words last night on the Pump Fake show was, this number is huge, but Louisville always wins by this margin or something along those lines. And, yeah, I mean, it's big for a reason. Louisville, they don't just cover these games. They seem to beat the shit out of these lesser teams. I just recently won fading Florida State. I had Miami plus 8.5, so I'm not particularly fond of the Florida State team. But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Florida State have some size?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know.
Florida State's, matter of fact, there's only a few teams in the country bigger than Florida State. So
I'm going to put Florida State plus the points up. I haven't bet it, but I'm open to it.
Yeah, you can put the same thing up for me. It's like pretty much my thoughts the same way. I don't really want to lay with Louisville. I do think that Florida can maybe give them a little bit of issues because they do match up size well. And Florida State can play with some pace, so maybe they get some easier buckets in transition. But this Louisville team just can't stop, won't stop, and it's kind of been like a death sentence trying to step in front of this team. So I know that Sauce has been very successful against them. He had that game against Georgia Tech. That was their awesome. One loss since December 21st. So in all those games, I'm pretty sure. I would assume like 95% of them. I'm not going to go through their whole schedule right now, but probably about 95% of them, they're winning these games by 15 plus. So. Again, Florida State on just the number alone, but I didn't bet it.
Toast saying I'm not going to go through the whole schedule reminded me of last night. Trevor, I was belly laughing, dude, when Elliott was going through the ACC and Huff was finally like, "All right, dude, we get it." Like I was, I'm gonna clip that because I was openly laughing out. That was hilarious. Like it was 3 a.m. and like Huff just had enough.
Yeah. I like zoned out. I was like, "Oh, hold up, we're still talking about the AC. What are we talking about the ACC here?"
I'm gonna clip right after the show. I'm gonna clip it and send it to the Discord because this shit this needs to be shared on social media. Maybe I was a little tired. It was 3 a.m., but I was like belly laughing.
Yeah, that was funny. Elliot was like, "What the fuck, dude? I had 2 more teams left. That's all I had to do was 2 more teams."
You get it, dude. They're trash. All right, Trev. What do you think about this game?
I put Florida State down too solely based on the number. I think their size and
I'm betting. I'm betting this,
dude.
I want to, but I just don't have the brass to hop in front of Louisville.
I have the brass.
All right.
I wish you the best.
Matter of fact, he played Georgia Tech that night, so he has the one other victory against them. So he doesn't have any.
I'm Louisville's worst nightmare.
Okay.
Florida State, they got the size, the athleticism to contend with them. I think a lot of people are still scarred from the that Clemson game, and then depending on what number you got, Florida State did cover versus Miami there, but Florida State, North Carolina on deck, but you're not looking ahead towards Louisville. So I think they can lose by like 9-10 points or something, but I really don't want to pay to find out. I am scarred from fading Clemson, and then they got housed up. I mean, because Louisville can definitely do the same thing to them.
Someone asked if there's any NBA. I put up a video, an NBA video late last night. You can go check it out. I like the under in the Sixers nets, but I haven't looked at the line this morning, so I have no idea where it's at. TCU.
How's my boy Duqesne been?
What's up?
Dude,
Philadelphia's fallen off. That the Sixers offense 5 games in a row they can't score. 0-5 against the spread. I'm actually on the under in that game, but I got it at 213.5. When I bet it, I was expecting it to come down, so I don't know where it's at now. TCU Cincinnati Bearcats laying 6.5. I can't stress enough how little interest I have in this game. I really don't. I don't. I've watched one Cincinnati game all year. TCU a little better than I thought. So, yeah, this is a straight pass for me unless you guys are going to try to sell me on something.
I can't even sell you on it. I would love to play Cincinnati here, but at 6.5, not only is that a lot of points for a Cincinnati team that I will give you their offense has looked better as of late, but they didn't look great against West Virginia. That was a lucky, again, depending on what number you got, 3.5, you covered, 2.5, you lost. But this is a lot of points, not to mention it's at 5.5, 6.5 range where we don't really like favorites in college basketball. So I would lean Cincinnati just because I don't really believe in the whole idea that TCU is starting to play better. They've beat up on a lot of really bad teams, and then they had probably their win of the year against Texas Tech, and now they're going to head on the road to a Cincinnati team that's, lost 2 in a row. So again, you can put Cincinnati up for me. I'm not betting it. I think they win this game. It's probably a decent money line parlay spot if you're into those things. But again, that's my only thoughts.
6.5 point favorite, definite Wong teaser. Don't do Wong teasers in college basketball. That was a joke for anyone who's going to take it literally.
I was going to say those poor bastards are like,
you can do that in basketball? No, you can't.
Teasing in college basketball is not really a great idea.
I would like to see the math on it to see if there's any teasing options that make mathematical sense. From what I've heard from people I trust, it's not.
There's no way. Yeah.
There's so much variance in college basketball. I mean, like, it's.
I mean, the only reason those Wong teasers were profitable in the NFL is the heavy frequency of 3 and 7. That's what made them profitable. But now the price reflects that anyway, so there's no value. We're getting
not
off
only
on
the
a
price,
tangent.
they set the lines. They pretty much set the lines off, so you can't do that.
Yeah, it's a thing of the past. Trev, Bearcats?
Yeah, I like Bearcats here. I was close to betting it. I didn't. You got Cincinnati off back-to-back road games. Iowa State, West Virginia. West Virginia had their number this year. They beat them by 13 in Cincinnati, and then West Virginia, should have been like a double-digit loss, but shout out Dan Skillings Jr. for that miracle 3.5 cover. That was great. That was CLV cut worked for me there, so I'll take that. But TCU off of the Texas Tech win too. I know they beat Arizona State on the road, but it's Arizona State. They're not really good at much of anything, so I'm not going to really worry about that. But on the road, TCU's not been good. Housed at Iowa State. Texas Tech got it by 14. They got housed at UCF. They beat a Baylor team that doesn't play defense, but Houston, Arizona, going on the road hasn't really been nice to them this year. And like Toe said, Cincinnati's offense has been better as of late. The last 4 games or so. So I think Cincinnati can kind of clamp down here and run it up on them to a point. 6.5 is big for a Cincinnati team, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be too enthused with backing Cincy at that number. So I will take it, but I won't bet it. I think Cincy could win this game by 5 or 10 points. I don't know.
I will say that Arizona State, BYU, Utah, all teams very similar to TCU, and they did win all those games at home by over 6.5. So they're capable of doing it. I just don't really know if I want to deal with it.
I wrote Cincinnati down. I have Cincinnati on here twice. All right, this one is supposed to
really
be.
love it.
This one's supposed to be Oregon, Wisconsin. All right, damn. So we're just gonna have to do Oregon, Wisconsin quickly because I don't have graphics for it. But I like the Ducks. Look, this Wisconsin team, they've been flying high. They think shit's sweet. We know that this is not a team we could trust down the stretch of this season. They're just not built like that. How many times can Wisconsin get lucky before they finally come crashing down? So this is a Duck spot. The whole world's on Wisconsin. Ducks up.
Couldn't agree more. I'll let Trevor talk about this game because obviously he's a Wisconsin guy, so he knows. But I did play Oregon plus 9.5.
Let's go.
I do think that they've been playing a little bit better. Yeah, they had a little bit of a cold streak, but they've been playing better, and I do trust that Dana Altman can get this team ready, especially coming into March. So this isn't me trying to pick apart Wisconsin. I just think this is a lot of points after two really big games for them in Purdue and Illinois, and now they're kind of into their sleepy spot in their schedule before they have to play Michigan State. So again, I'm not going to go off and try to talk to you guys about how bad Michigan or Oregon or Wisconsin is, but I got Oregon at 9.5. I just thought that was a little bit too much.
Someone real quick asked, saw us do UFC again. Actually, coincidentally, I just talked to MMA fortune teller yesterday. A week from Thursday, we're back with UFC, but we're not doing the Saturday live streams. We're going to record an episode on Thursday, upload it Thursday night with like graphics and shit. So it won't be a live stream, but there'll be a UFC video a week from Thursday. We're starting that. So that's weird. I just had that conversation like 5 hours ago before I went to sleep. Trev, go ahead and spew off your bullshit.
Another day, more Badger bullshit apparently, but this team covers. This team covers. This team's fucking good. You keep hating, that's fine. We don't care. We love it. We feed off of it. We thrive. Kyle was making a joke about my Badgers were honoring the 2000 Final Four team. today against the Ducks here. This is huge. They're going to be up. This place is going to be amped. It's Wisconsin on a Saturday. Everyone's going to be hammed up. We got 5 shooters on the floor at all times, 1 through 5, all can shoot. Guys coming off the bench who can shoot. We got 2 7-footers to bang with Biddle, who's a little soft. I'm not gonna lie. He likes to step out and shoot the threes. He doesn't like to bang with the big boys down low. So and our guys can follow him. So this team is really good. I mean, John Tonji, back-to-back 30 pieces. Even if he doesn't go for that, you still got Xavier Amos, John Blackwell, McGee, Klesmit, Janicki. We got shooters up and down, and we can defend. So give me Bucky here. A 14-1 ATS team at home. They just get it done. They don't care. So Bucky big today.
To give you an idea of what kind of program Wisconsin is today, they're honoring the 2000 Final Four team. So 2000.
Oh yeah, we are.
They're honoring a team from 25 years ago that didn't even win. 25 years ago, the team was all right. They're honoring that. We don't honor mediocrity here.
And they got beat by double digits by Sparty.
Yeah.
That game.
Also, Johnny Davis.
We're not
Look at
talking about that.
Look at him in the NBA. That just gives you a reflection of Wisconsin.
I just posted about that. That's funny.
Hey,
Hey,
our guys
later, he'll get a
get
job.
blackballed in the NBA. It's not their fault. The teams don't pour the resources and time into developing them, and they just let them fall by the wayside.
Or he's
That's
not
on us.
talented. One of the two.
No shot. Look at Frank Kaminsky. He went pro, and they never developed him, and he floundered out. Tough to see. Just invest some money in our guys.
Frank
and you're
Kaminsky
gonna be
could have
happy.
been Jokic if they just developed him.
Thank you. Somebody had to thank you. Somebody else said it. It wasn't just me.
All right. This seems okay. I know Texas Tech in Lubbock is serious shit, but West Virginia plays a super slow pace. I don't know. Just based on the way West Virginia plays, I think I'd be inclined to look towards a plus 11.5. I'm not though. I'm open to suggestions here if you guys have anything.
You can go first, Trevor, because everybody already knows where I'm going to be in this game.
Yeah, it's tough with this one. I mean, you got Texas Tech off of a loss at TCU. Now they're coming home. West Virginia off of that crazy win, and then they're going to hit the road again, where they have not been great this year, other than Cincinnati and Colorado. They haven't. I guess they'd be a dog shit Kansas team too. But when they've gone on the road and played any good teams, they get just housed, and they don't score as much on the road. Like lost at Baylor, they scored 71 in overtime. Went to TCU, lost by and only put up 60 points. Went to Kansas State, lost by 13, only put up 60 points. 54 Houston, and then they put up 78 against a bad Colorado team. But I like West Virginia under 62.5 here. This is where I played. You got an offense that is pretty much just one guy with Javon Small. He makes that team go, and no DeVries, obviously he's been out in redshirting this year. But Texas Tech off a loss at home can play clamp down defense, and we've seen West Virginia go on the road not play great offense and just kind of struggle to get past that 60 mark. So I will take a pissed off Texas Tech team at home to clamp down this West Virginia team. And like you said, they play with slow pace. They try to just grind it out. I think we're going to see minimal possessions, great defense. So give me like a 72 to 58 game for Texas Tech.
Toast? I don't hate what he said, by the way.
Yeah, I don't hate it either. I would be on West Virginia if I had to. The only reason that I say that is because I do think that, like Sauce said, I do think that West Virginia can slow the pace of this game down a little bit, which should help. And and neither team actually plays with a very high pace either. So obviously, I do trust the West Virginia defense. I don't really trust them offensively, so I agree with Trevor's team total. The one thing that I do like about West Virginia is they don't turn the ball over, which is what should help them here. And then as far as Texas Tech is concerned, I just don't really love the spot for them. I get coming off a loss is big, but the last time they came off a loss and they were at home, they played Arizona State, and that game went to 2 overtime. So I'm really not really in a spot where I'm like, I feel like I have to play Texas Tech at home. Not to mention Texas Tech has Houston and Kansas on deck. So again, off a loss, sure, maybe you could argue it's not a sleepy spot, but again, I don't know how much they really get up for it. It would only be West Virginia or pass for me.
I put the under up based on what both of you said, under 135.5. West Virginia super slow pace. We trust them more on the defensive side of the court.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Actually, yeah.
60 to 70 game works for me.
Hell yeah, me too.
Works for all
I didn't
of
bet
us.
West Virginia, but now I kind of want to. I hope we all hit. That'd be fun.
That would be an awesome one.
Let's move to 1 second. Mississippi State, Oklahoma, dude.
I think I'm gonna do it.
I already did.
Did you? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. God damn it,
guys.
All right,
guys, come on.
I'm sorry. You would say yourself when we all just bet Oklahoma. They all just shit in our hand, and now nobody wants to back them. This is the time we slam them. Let's go.
Yeah, but they're a really bad basketball team, though.
Oh, they're terrible. Absolutely terrible. Porter Mosier doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He couldn't coach a 12-year-old AAU team. I don't know how he got a job at Oklahoma.
That fucking Final Four run did wonders for him.
Dude, it's the luckiest. Him and Andy Enfield. Jesus.
Yeah. I bet Oklahoma here, so I guess I'll start. But Oklahoma, 5 straight L's. I mean, when you look at the schedule, Auburn, Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, and Florida, and that was a Florida, Missouri, Auburn road stretch there. I'm obviously I can't poke holes in that. That's an elite schedule here. The LSU loss pretty. I saw that pretty rough. But I think Oklahoma gets up for this game. This line is disgusting. Mississippi State off back-to-back wins. They're hitting the road here. They do have Alabama on deck also, so I think they're maybe a little bit of a look ahead for them. I mean, it's Oklahoma at the end of the day. Oklahoma's terrible. So, how much are they really focusing in on this? I'm not saying Jans is overlooking them. He'll have them ready to an extent, but I don't know how much effort the guys are going to exert today. Oklahoma will probably get a lead here and then kind of melt away and lose this game by 3 points or something. I don't see them winning this game, but I think they're going to keep it close. I think they give Mississippi State a scare. Mississippi State, they play fast, but they grind you out on defense. Oklahoma at home, not great, but they also will make you work on defense to an extent. So I think this is kind of a slower possession game. They find a way to get this done. This is going to be a 68-70 kind of game. I think Oklahoma is going to hang around in there, and nobody wants to bet Oklahoma after what they've been displaying the last 5-6 games. So I took it. This is more of just a gut feel. I saw this number last night, and something told me to bet Oklahoma. So I tried to find a logical way to get there. There's not much logic. It's just a gut feel. Nobody wants Oklahoma. Nobody.
It's a quote unquote, I got a feeling bet.
I got a feeling.
Oh, hell yeah. I just bet them. Oklahoma +4 on Caesars. Can't really add much because it's kind of a feeling as well, like I just talked about before. But also Mississippi State coming off of 2 probably huge wins for them. I mean, there are 2 huge wins against Ole Miss and Texas A&M. Now they have Alabama on deck with this Oklahoma team sandwiched in between. Oklahoma had issues with Fears. His dad was talking, and then his dad came out and walked back the comments. I bet you Fears has a good game tonight, or a big game tonight. I'm with you, Trevor. I played the +4 as well. 3.5, whatever.
I really liked Oklahoma in that last one. Who did they play?
Florida.
Yeah.
That's just what Florida does, though.
Exactly.
Someone said, Kyle, give us a promo code for your Hungry Man dinners. It's Factor75, and the promo code is 50. Promo code is 50 sauce.
It's Factor75, actually. Thank you.
I know you guys were digging the commercial. Georgia Tech, Boston College catching 2.5. I'm not betting that Oklahoma game, by the way. I can't do it.
Oh, come on, dive in with us.
All right, Boston College catching 2.5 at home. Georgia Tech's been all right recently, haven't they?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I felt that this number, obviously both these teams are pretty bad, but like you said, Georgia Tech's been playing pretty decent lately, and they've actually beat some pretty good teams, Louisville, Clemson. Not that Stanford's some fantastic team, but they're top 100 in KenPom, so it's not like they're terrible. And they just beat Cal. I honestly lean Boston College here. I just felt that this line was kind of weird and kind of a little bit short. I know Boston College record hasn't really looked great over the last couple of weeks, but they lost a 3 overtime game to Syracuse. They lost a 2 overtime game to Notre Dame. Then they lost on the road to NC State, and then they come back home and beat Virginia Tech. So they beat Florida State as well. So again, these teams that Boston College is losing to is either the upper echelon of the ACC, which is still trash, or teams that they shouldn't be, or teams that they're winning games. So again, whatever. I would be on Boston College if I had to pick a side.
It's down to 1.5 now.
Damn it.
I kind of like it though. I think they're going
Me
to win.
too. Especially that 2.5 number. I really like it.
I'm putting Boston College up too, and I'm writing it down, and it's in my list of possibles. Trev?
Yeah. It's Boston College or nothing for me. I will not bet this game. I'd rather bet Virginia Tech today than Boston College. But Boston College or
that doesn't mean anything. You bet against Miami every game.
Hey.
Because he's a hater.
He is a hater.
Boston College here. I mean, Georgia Tech on the road, not good. They lost at Notre Dame. They lost at Virginia. They did pull it out against Clemson, triple overtime. Insane game. But other than that Clemson win, they haven't won on the road all year. They've lost every single one on the road. I think Boston College, that the Virginia Tech Boston College game was a brutal watch, but they literally can't play any worse. And it's not like Georgia Tech's an elite team. They've been playing good, yes, but they've been catching teams at home, minus that one Clemson road win this year. So it would be Boston College, the Catholics, or nothing for me in this game. But I really don't have a strong feel in this whatsoever.
Next up is Iowa State, Houston, and we were talking about this last night. For those that watched our stream or those that watched the Pump Fake show, Iowa State's got all kinds of injuries. That's why this line has moved 6 points. It was at 6.5. Going into Houston is hard enough as it is. Now you're going in. I believe what one of you guys said last night was only 5 scholarship players playing or something like that. So Iowa State's in bad shape. I kind of still want to take Iowa State.
I was going to say there's a part of me that would like to, just because everybody in the world's on Houston, and they're in every money line parlay ever to exist. And they have Texas Tech on deck. So again, you can make an argument that because they know that Iowa State's down too, it's a little bit of a sleepy spot for them. But I'm not betting it, but I would. There's no way in hell I'm laying 12.5 with Houston against Iowa State. Not that Iowa State's I love, but that's just a lot of points for a team that's somewhat capable. Again, they're not the same team as what we once knew, so it's just really hard to bet this game.
Trev?
Yeah, I'm going to be on Iowa State's team total under here. First half. You got College game day in Houston today. All the injuries that Iowa State has and sickness. Not to mention Taman Lipsey and who's the other guy? There's another guy that's supposedly playing. It's not like official. They may sit out at this point. Who knows? But if they do play, they're still banged up. And if they do sit, Iowa State's going to have to figure out another way to get some offense, especially with Gilbert and Jones out so far. So going into Houston, not ever like an easy thing to do, let alone now there's a little extra juice with game day there. This team shows up first half. Best first half win margin at home in the country. Iowa State, really good at home. On the road, they have a negative 0.9 road differential in the first half. So I think they struggle to score here. I think Houston puts the clamps down, shows up, gets it done. Full game, I think somehow Iowa State might find a way, make some adjustments at half, figure some things out. And we've seen Houston kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit after they have such a big lead and dominate in the first half. So I just want to isolate this first half under with Iowa State. I think they're going to struggle a little bit offensively to get some shit going here.
Iowa State first half under. Interesting.
And Houston first half team total unders for their opponent have been money all year, spread too, but I don't want the spread. I just think Houston's
that number is 27.5, by the way, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, Houston first half. That's dating back multiple years that Houston's been an elite first half team. I remember people talk about that last season.
Yeah.
All
right.
Take your will to live right away. And
I want to take NC State here because I hate.
You're telling me you hate Wake and they're taking money, steamed up almost 2.5 points. You're telling me.
Yeah, I hate Wake Forest. I don't think they're good. I think that transfer from Gonzaga is trash.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking I'm going to bet this one. Let me add it.
And there's two.
You know the one I'm talking about, Salas.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. I just wanted to make it known for everybody. Also, he's had like 20 points in the last 5 games. So
yeah, circus shots are going
combined.
In. Not sustainable.
Okay.
All right. What do you want?
Go ahead, Trevor. Since you guys are all hating on Silas, because I want to be on North Carolina too.
Yeah, the one you really got to worry about is Hildreth, the Ginger Ninja for Wake Forest here. But yeah, this number's disgusting. Everybody just got burnt with NC State the other night against North Carolina, going in there and getting it done. I did kind of lean towards Wake last night, but I just looking at this, like, this number's rough. Like, Wake Forest should just smash NC State, but I'll pick NC State or nothing for me. I know I kind of benedicted from what I said last night, but the more you stare at this line's sitting the same. I think they get up and they kind of shock people here. This number's just too short. I want no part of this game, but it would be NC State or nothing for me personally.
Toast?
Yeah, it'd be NC State or pass for me. I don't really trust this Wake Forest team on the road. I don't really trust them laying multiple possessions. And if there's a couple positives for NC State is that their defense hasn't been like god awful. They can force turnovers and they don't turn the ball over offensively. So they match up pretty well as far as size wise as well. So again, I lean NC State. If they weren't just absolutely terrible, it would be an absolute bet for me. But man, coming off that North Carolina game, I don't know what we're going to get out of them.
Yeah, I mean, as you would imagine, the poll is heavy on Wake Forest. People in the comments are taking Wake Forest. No, never mind. We got some. No, most of the people in the comments are taking Wake Forest here. Hairston is taking NC State. Other than that, it seems like everyone's on Wake.
Yeah, that's where I want to be.
Penn State, Minnesota. Guys, look,
dude.
Penn State is not good, but laying points with Minnesota, I'm pretty sure it's illegal in most states.
That's what I'm saying. I remember, and this is why I'm going to make a small bet on NC or Penn State, because remember when I was at your house and how pissed off I was that I didn't bet Washington at Minnesota because they were laying points, and I feel the exact same way here today. Is Minnesota a better basketball team than Penn State? Absolutely no question. They've actually been playing really good basketball as well. I keep on mentioning that Minnesota has been playing just as good as a lot of other teams in the country. I mean, not the upper echelon, but all those middle of the pack, anywhere from 40 to 80 in Ken Palm, they've been playing really good. I mean, their only losses to Michigan State on the road, Illinois at home, and then Washington at home as well. Which is the game I was just talking about, and that was the one game that they were favored. I'm almost pretty sure that was the only game that they were favored. So is Penn State bad? Yeah, there's no question about that. But some of their losses have been coming on the road, some of them at home. Yeah, I mean, obviously. But at the same time, I do trust that Penn State. One thing I do like about Penn State is that they're pretty old. So they got guys like Ace Baldwin. Who else is a senior? That Dunn kid's a senior. Hicks is a senior. So these are starting to be some of their last games. You're going to see them as in the Penn State uniform. So I would expect them all to play pretty well here today. Obviously, you can make the same case for seniors on Minnesota. I'm not saying that Penn State's the only team with seniors, but I do think that they have seniors that can make a difference here. So I will be on Penn State getting 3.5 or what have you. I just don't think that Minnesota should be a favorite.
I put Penn State up too, but I'm not betting this one. Trev?
Yeah, I bet Penn State 3.5 last night. Minnesota laying points like that. That was it. That was basically it. I know Penn State's fucking trash, but they did just get a big win, like a big win. I think they might build some confidence on that. You got Minnesota off of the West Coast trip, and not to mention the UCLA game where they were down like 17 or some shit, and then came back and won that game in the second half. So I think, they exerted a lot of energy for that. Then you're going to fly back from the West Coast. You got a Penn State team who's feeling good. They finally got a win in a big fashion. I think Penn State comes in here and gets the win, but you're going to give me 3.5 points. I'll take it. You got Niederhauser who can size up with Garcia. And if Garcia struggles, Minnesota's going to struggle 100%. I know they won a game where, Garcia scored 7 points. The USC game, yeah. Garcia scored 7 points, which was crazy that they did win that game. But if he has another game like that, they're not winning today. So regardless of that, I like Penn State today to get it up and follow up a win with a potentially another one here. But they'll keep this one close for sure.
Let's be honest too. Darson Garcia is coming off the game of his life against UCLA. So
32. That was awesome.
32. I don't even know. Did he miss a shot? I'm not even being sarcastic. So, yeah, he did.
By the way, Jen was in the comments saying Minnesota needs this for a chance to make the Big Ten tournament and try to save their coach's job.
I don't think that he's on the hot seat. They're going to fire Ben Johnson?
After this season, I don't think so. I think they give him another chance here, let him run it back. I mean, this is a pretty successful year for Minnesota basketball.
Pittsburgh, Notre Dame in South Bend. What are we doing with this line? I know Pitt is not as good as we thought they were, but really? Basically a pick 'em with Notre Dame? What?
Dude, this game just brings me back. 2 years ago, I had me and a group of friends had Pittsburgh at like 19-1 to win the ACC, and all they had to do was come into South Bend and win that game, and they lost that game, and I'll never forget that. But I would lean the Irish here. I think this line is so freaking stinky, it's not even funny. So I have no way I'm going to bet this game. But I do trust Micah Shrewsbury, and they've kind of been embarrassed their last 2 games, so they probably come out and play pretty well here today. Pittsburgh's coming off 2 wins, but they've been kind of shaky at best. So, again, I lean Notre Dame, but I don't love it at all.
Didn't Notre Dame just get cooked up on a line that was very similar to this?
The exact same.
I was going to say, against SMU, and they got throttled.
Yeah.
Ren's asked if we're going to talk Butler and DePaul. Of course. It's a primetime game. We'll get to it. We're going in order of start time.
We'll get to it.
Trev, Pittsburgh, right? Notre Dame fake sharp.
Absolutely not. Give me Notre Dame. Pittsburgh 2-8 in their last 10 against Notre Dame. They've lost the last 1, 2, 3.
This Notre Dame team sucks, though.
No, Pitt's
okay. Pitt is fucking trash.
You guys
Pitt's
are making
trash.
me want to bet Pitt.
They're fugazi as hell. Give me Notre Dame here. Everyone likes Notre Dame, stinky line, Shrewsbury going off in the press conference, and then they show up and give a performance like that. That will not happen today. Notre Dame's going to get this one done outright. Obviously, it's a 1.5 spread. So be it. I'll take the money line. If they lose by 1, then whatever. But I'm taking Notre Dame. This is the game they show up for. Everybody liked them in that weird line. Got cooked. They're going to take Pitt here. But Pitt doesn't have success versus Notre Dame since what season is this? 2016-17 season, so almost a decade. They've won 2 games against them. They're 2-8, lost their last 3 or 4 in South Bend, and that streak continues today. Get this Pitt shit out of here. Eat shit, Pitt.
Yeah, I'm taking Pitt. I'm going to bet Pitt.
It's okay. Well, hold on. Let's just slow down.
Hold on. Let me mute this guy. This guy's been sitting here watching the whole time. Hasn't mentioned basketball once. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're talking college football.
No, he's just like sitting there complaining. Like, dude, we started 40 minutes ago. Why are you still watching? Just what? Some people
complaining about what? Never mind. Don't even answer it.
Yeah, some people are really strange and really lonely. Ole Miss plus 1.5. Vanderbilt minus 1.5.
I think I'm going to be on my own little island here.
You're not taking Ole Miss.
I'm going to wait for everybody to tell me about how much Vandy needs this game and how mad that and I think
that's not what I'm going to say.
I think Ole Miss is the better basketball team with a nominal defense that's going to make Vanderbilt really struggle. So, but yeah, I really like Mississippi State here today, or Ole Miss here today. We'll see if I actually end up betting it because I don't want to be wrong. But I do feel like Vanderbilt could be the candidate of you know what.
What are you talking about? That's not fake sharp. They're awesome at home.
Could be.
And they're like the public side.
Could be. Fake sharp play of the day. Everybody loves them. Some Vanderbilt today.
Then it's not the fake sharp play of the day if it's going to be like the public side.
And people are thinking they're sharp.
I'm not thinking I'm sharp. I'm thinking I'm a little bit square on Vandy.
Okay, go ahead then. I don't think you're
I'm
square.
on Vanderbilt. I took it last night. They're awesome at home. Ole Miss sucks.
I don't know. Go ahead, Trevor. I don't really have I'm not going to fight about it. I don't love it that much.
Vanderbilt for me too here. We see what they do at home and what they do on the road. I mean, Vanderbilt at home has knocked off, looking at the wrong team here. They've knocked off, we got Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee, big wins at home. And then they go on the road and they get smacked. Mississippi has not seen Vanderbilt yet this year. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but IU's looking for a new head ball coach. And number one candidate behind Brad Stevens is Chris Beard. That shit is all over the news. You know he's got it. He's taking calls. You know his mind might be a little out of the game for a little bit right now.
Is any of that confirmed?
That he's taking calls and stuff.
Twitter
yeah, I mean
rumors,
it's all
dude.
over.
Twitter rumors.
No, he's definitely going to IU.
You've been hanging out with Huffer too much, dude.
No, he's definitely going to IU. You got Beard going to IU. You got Fran going to Butler next year. I got my pulse on the coaching moves, but Vanderbilt at home, Ole Miss off the loss. But guess what? They have Auburn on the road on deck. So quick little pit stop in Nashville. You're going to party a little bit, and then you're going to go into the Doors Arena, whatever the hell it's called, and they're going to catch an L here. So give me Byington and the boys to bounce back after a rough loss against Kentucky. Hitting home, another big game. I'm not sure if you guys are aware also. Free crew neck sweatshirts to the first 1,000 students in the building. So,
yeah, I mean,
students will be amped up.
Wasn't aware of that. Let me write that down.
It's one thing to fade. It's one thing to fade that Vanderbilt crowd as it is. Now picture they're all wearing matching crew neck sweaters.
It'd be a whiteout.
You want to fade that?
A whiteout in the student section.
Just
I do want to fade that.
Looking up in the crowd and seeing a sea of crew neck sweatshirts.
I was just at Vanderbilt, and when you're looking up into the crowd, you need binoculars because they're that far away from the court.
Now
It's
picture
so
them
weird.
all in crew necks. That's what I'm saying. Just take Vandy. A sea of crew necks.
You can put Ole Miss up for me. I do think that Ole Miss is the much better team, and it's not even close for me. And yes, Vanderbilt has a couple nice wins at home, one of them being Texas. What do we know about Texas on the road? Can't really trust that team. That was a good win, though. Kentucky on the road, not really the same. And Tennessee on the road, absolutely terrible. So, yes, I mean, those are decent wins, and all those teams are probably I don't know. Only two of those teams, or maybe one of those teams may be better than Ole Miss. I don't know. I'm on Ole Miss here today. I'm going to wait for it. I don't know if I actually end up betting it, but I really, really want to. I just don't really think that Vandy's that good. I mean, they've lost, what, 5 of their last 6 of their last 8? I mean, it's not like they're playing good. I just don't really trust this Vanderbilt team.
Those were on the road, though. 4 road games, 2 home games. They beat Texas, and then Auburn. They had a lead in the second half, and Auburn somehow pulled out another cover out of their ass. So
I'm just saying, I don't trust this Vanderbilt team. I feel like they keep on burning me.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Toast Losing Bets. Next game.
Toast killed it last night.
Yeah, I think you have back-to-back good days.
Yep.
That means you're overdue to get smoked.
I was just about to say it. It's only a matter of time, boys. Nothing like a 140 game slate to knock me down.
Yeah, let's move on. Say So Jones says it's a great show. Let the haters hate. You're doing something right. It's not, when I muted that guy, it's not about us per se. It's people don't want that on their screen. They're just tuning in to talk about basketball. This guy's popping up. It's not. It's also about the viewers. You guys see the comments on the screen, so just keep it. We'd like to keep it to a positive group. George Mason VCU. I don't know. What do you guys have to say?
Oh man, Trevor, you can go first. I'm sure you have your pulse a little bit better than me.
Yeah,
I just think it's a lot of points.
Oh yeah, no, it is. They want to scare you off. You know, George Mason, top of the A10 here. VCU 1 game behind, but George Mason. You know, I like this team. They're not as good as VCU. Like, let's just be 100% real here. VCU at home, plus 10.9 win margin, one of the best in the country. And this team, we've seen what they do to you. They just suffocate you. They can be up 1, down 2 at half. That second half, they put the pillow over you. They suffocate you. They kill you slowly. And it's never pretty. You get a VCU team here that's going to be motivated to get this done. I know it's going to be a lot of points. You know, George Mason, first in the conference. Like, they're a good team. This will be a tight game. I think the first half might be tight, but VCU is going to come out and they're going to win by close to 15, in my opinion. I'm going to be on VCU today. This team is nothing to fuck with. I mean, they fucking clamp you down. They can score. They can defend. They can play fast. They can play slow. They can do it all. So give me VCU. Get it done here. They're gonna smoke George Mason. You know, it might come in the second half, but they'll get it done.
Trevor goes, look, George Mason's a good team, but they're not as good as VCU. Yeah, no shit. They're catching 10.5 points.
Well,
hold on, though. I was gonna say that's kind of misleading. I knew what he meant, because if you even like spend 5 minutes handicapping this game, you're gonna see that George Mason's 21-5 in the year, 12-1 on the conference, and now they're getting 10.5 points. Like I knew exactly. I get what you meant, but
thank you, Tom.
I just don't. I guess I just don't. I would play this. I would play if I had to make a pick. It'd be VCU just because I feel like this number's so high for a reason that it doesn't even make sense. So I don't think that they're 10 points better than George Mason. I will say that, but I mean George Mason is still the best defense in that conference. I mean obviously these are the two best defenses in the conference. VCU just has a really decent offense and George Mason can't score. So I guess it makes sense. But again, this feels like a very very high number and it's probably high for a reason. But again, maybe I'm wrong.
Let's go on to the next game because I don't care about this one. All right. Let's talk ball. And for this bet, need to give a shout out to Jen in the comments. I tailed Jen on this one. And the reason why is, I don't know if you guys know Jen in the comments. She's always dropping information in there, like injury updates and all that. Like clearly somebody that follows college basketball closely. She doesn't drop picks in there a lot. Like, she's not just giving picks on every game. Usually she's sharing, like, information or something, like a news report or something. And when they got to this game last night of the Pump Pick Pod, Jen hammered SMU in there and was confident about it. Like, and she's not dropping picks in there. That means, like, I saw the comment. I was like, oh, Jen likes this shit. So I'm on it. Everyone's going to take Clemson here. Go ahead. SMU's the sharp play. I took them. Did I? No, I'm sorry. I took +2. That's the bet I have is +2.
I think Boopy Miller's playing, right? Like this line tells me that he's playing. Correct, Trevor? Am I crazy?
Yeah. I got to look that up, but I was going to say the same thing. This line to me kind of implies that Boopy Miller is gonna be playing. I think they left him out last game just to get him healthy for the game that actually fucking mattered, and it's Clemson for sure.
I'm with you. I was kind of waiting on his news, but I really wanted to play SMU in the first place anyway. So I trust Andy Anfield in his defense. Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do it. Is right. So Trev, what are you on?
Yeah, I'm on SMU. Don't know if I'm gonna bet this. I may squad ride with you guys. SMU, they need this game. Big game. Clemson is pretty much got the 2 seed. Almost locked up. I know SMU's right there. I think they're a game or 2 behind. So I mean, you could obviously they're going to give an effort here. SMU's 2 games behind Clemson and Louisville, and so I just think SMU at home. You're going to get Boopy Miller back. This is going to be a must-win game for both sides here, but. Everyone's going to like Clemson. I mean, we've seen what Clemson's done. They've knocked off Duke. They're going to go on the road now and just catch a 1.5. So I think SMU gets it done. But if you look at SMU's schedule, like they have struggled against the big dogs in the conference, like Duke, Louisville, Wake Forest, all L's. They lost to North Carolina too, but that was back in January 7th to start the conference play. So that's whatever. But I'm close to taking it. I just don't like the track record per se of what SMU's done against the top dogs. So it's SMU or nothing for me, but I'm not sure I'll bet this. I'm sure a couple beers later I'll squad right.
I will say though that the Wake Forest game, they were up for like most of the game. They just melted away, and that game was at home. So if they have back-to-back melts at home, I guess so be it. But
we're on the Dukes next. Duquesne +6.5. St. Bonnie's -6.5. I don't really know. Not too familiar with these teams. I do know that I've had success betting Duquesne as underdogs. I've taken them plus the points a few times, and I feel like they always come through for me. But I mean, that's not really. That could be a limited sample size. I don't really know. I just feel like I've won bets betting Duquesne. So what do you guys like here?
Man, I just don't know what to think of St. Bonaventure. I mean, I just, it's times they can look like really fun or really good, and other times they just look really, really bad. And for me, it's really hard to get a pulse on this team. That being said, Duquesne's playing really, really bad. They have won 2 of their last 3, but before that, they were on like a 5-game losing streak. And a lot of those teams were pretty comparable, but minus Richmond and I guess maybe UMass. But a lot of those teams were very comparable to Bonnie's, like Dayton and St. Joe's. And so I would lean the Bonnies at home. I just think that they're a little bit better team, but both these teams play really, really slow. But yeah, I would lean the Bonnies at home if I had to.
Scoop is in the comments typing Bonnies in all caps.
All right, never mind. Poke Dukes up for me.
And Helms is also in the comments saying Duquesne outright. So you can't fade both of them.
Just take my label off. I'm out. I'm going to the bathroom.
Just keep the under.
Yeah.
Trev, what do you like?
Yeah, I like Duquesne here. I know Duquesne beat the shit out of Bonaventure last time. What was this? score 75-57, so an 18-point L on the road at Pittsburgh here in Duquesne. But I think Duquesne's a better team. I know you look at that, you see a shit ton of losses, but I mean, these losses on the road: 1 point to Dayton, 5 to Richmond, 4 to St. Joe's, 2 to Fordham. Davidson was a 6-point loss. They beat George Washington on the road. They keep games close here. And the fact that they beat Bonaventure by the way they did, I think they can keep it close again. I know the Bonnies haven't been good lately. They caught injuries and they've just haven't really recovered. I mean, their wins are Richmond, a Dayton team who's pretty down and not good in my opinion this year, and then Fordham and UMass. So nothing, not like elite wins here. They somehow beat VCU, but that was before they got all those injuries. But other than that, I think Duquesne keeps it close here. I think they kind of know this Bonnie's team, know what to do. So I'll take Duquesne, but I'm not betting this at all. It's just a weird one. I could see Bonnie's pissed off and getting it done, but I just haven't been impressed with what they've been doing since all these injuries have occurred.
I'm putting Duquesne up, but I'm not betting this one. Mark is in the comments taking Duquesne as well. Good morning, Mark. Scoop says, send me an invite. I have some bets. I don't have Prop Beaver here. I don't have a 4-person template set up for us four. If you told me like an hour and a half ago, I could have made it work. But if Prop Beaver was here producing, I could do it. But I would have to literally put the show on hold to make it. Next up, Oklahoma State versus Kansas. And look, you're about to hear both these guys talk about how shitty this Kansas team is, how you can't lay 14.5. The same song and dance you would hear if you put on ESPN, College Game Day this morning. You've probably seen it on Twitter a bunch. It's the same thing over and over again. The entire world has given up on Bill Self. Oklahoma State absolutely sucks. Kansas by 20+.
I have not given up on Bill Self. I didn't bet this game, but I just wanted to say that. I think that anybody that thinks that Bill Self is leaving Kansas or is going to get fired or anything like that is absolutely insane. So I just wanted to make sure that that's well out there and clear. Kansas for me. Oklahoma State, absolutely terrible.
Let's go.
And Kansas has shown that they can win by margin at home. Have they had clunkers? Absolutely, yes. But their last 2 home games, Iowa State, they won that game by 17, and they beat Colorado by 12 or something like that. So, am I going to play this? No. But actually, you know what? I kind of might, just because I know that everybody's going to be wanting to play Oklahoma State here. So, it would only be Kansas or pass for me, as disgusting as it is.
Let's go. Go ahead, Trev. Take Oklahoma State. Talk about how Bill Self can't be trusted.
Yeah, no, feed me Oklahoma State here. This is disrespectful to the Cowboys. Guns up here. So Kansas is back home in the fog, and all of a sudden they figured out all their problems. No. I mean they were in the press conference talking about they need to get away from each other. They need to take some time, just separate a little bit and come back to it. So they probably haven't done much practicing. They probably hate each other. Shout out Hunter Dickinson for fucking up that team chemistry and being an absolute bum he is. Oklahoma State started playing better. I know the wins aren't crazy impressive. Utah, Arizona State, UCF, but they played TCU on the road tough, who did knock down Texas Tech. They've got some road wins. Played Houston on the road to single digits here. Texas Tech again to a 10-point game. Texas Tech did just beat the shit out of them. They came back and beat UCF and put up 104. So I get it's Oklahoma State. I get their offense is bad. I get it's Kansas and the fog off of back-to-back losses. I get all that. Kansas ain't good. This team is not good. They're going to win this game by like 9 points or something. Give me Oklahoma State. Kansas is an absolute fraud. I can't wait to fade them in the tournament. Getting a nice money line price with a dog here. In that Kansas is trash. They ain't winning shit. Self ain't going nowhere. I'll agree with you. He's not going nowhere. He's not getting fired, but maybe he quits. He gets sick of all this shit, but I highly doubt it. But there's no chance in the world he gets fired.
Trevor just said, I get that this is Oklahoma State on the road in the fog. I get that it's Kansas at home against Oklahoma State. Brother, it doesn't sound like you do get it, because Oklahoma State is on the road in Kansas, and 70% of the public is taking Oklahoma State.
Well,
the world has lost their minds. Kansas by a boatload.
I would say if you feel like, and not Trevor, but if anybody out there feels like they need, I would like Oklahoma State first half more, because they not only has Kansas showed that they can start slow at home, they're also coming off of Utah BYU. They're coming out of their mountain trip. So maybe their legs aren't really there the first half, but we'll see.
Craig Wood, good morning, man. Craig says, I'm an Oklahoma State guy. This is a terrible Oklahoma State spot. See, there's a guy who gets it, Trevor. He gets it. You can't say that because clearly you don't get it.
I love a fan that doesn't believe in their team. When they don't believe in the team, you know what happens? They pop up. So let's go. Guns up. We're going to get it done here today. They're going to lose this game by 9 points.
Can we talk about the weirdest line of the day? Look, just to put it into perspective. What is it?
6.5 now.
That makes me feel a little bit better, but to put it into perspective for you, Baylor was just laying 2.5 to Arizona. Baylor was just laying points. Yeah, but still, I mean, we're talking about Arizona and Colorado here. Baylor was just laying points to Arizona. Now they're only laying 5.5 to Colorado. I obviously, as you guys know, I'm not the biggest college basketball guy, but if you asked me to make this number, I would have guessed around 13. So
no,
13. I would be.
Colorado sucks,
Colorado. Dude. But Baylor isn't good enough to be laying 13 on the road. 13 on the road, and you haven't won. You haven't even sniffed a road game since what? January. Shit,
you should bet Colorado
then. Road win for them.
You should just bet Colorado then.
A road win for them. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that the number 13 that you just spouted out was kind of crazy. That's all.
Maybe 10.5.
Yeah, it would only be Baylor here. I'm not betting this, but I understand that Baylor hasn't looked good, but they've also played the third hardest schedule in the country. So if you go back through their away games, they lost to Houston. Nobody's beaten Houston on the road. They lost to Texas Tech. They lost to BYU in overtime. They lost to Arizona. Again, they lost to Iowa State. So again, not very many teams are going to beat those teams on the road. So, and not to mention the fact Baylor's been dealing with a lot of injuries. They're finally starting to get healthy. I would agree this is a Baylor spot. There's no chance in hell I lay it with them. But yeah, it would be Baylor a pass for me.
If you're one of the people in the comments saying you're taking Colorado, Say So Jones, Leonard Dodd, just want to know that I respect your backbone to do that. That is a super sharp play. Baylor's significantly better than Colorado. So if you're taking Colorado, it's a sharp move. I think you're going to lose, but it's a sharp move.
I do think, and sorry to go really quick, sorry to go long, Trevor, but I do think that Baylor getting healthy, the more that they get healthy over the next week or so, you might be able to get in some good spots with them at a short price, but we'll see.
Trevor, are you one of the quote unquote sharps on Colorado?
I like Colorado. Have not bet it. I've been close. But, I mean, Colorado is going to have the size and length advantage. I mean, their guards, too, where Baylor excels and generally has an advantage is their guard play, which I do think they have an advantage today here. But, I mean, Yakimowski, Ruffin, Julian Hammond, like these guys are all really good. They have size and length, too, to keep up. Now, I'm not saying they're the athletes that Edgecombe or Robert Wright or anything is, but Roach has been back. He's playing like 20, 25 minutes a game, which is a hell.
Has he been playing well, though? Because Helms just said it in the comments. I feel like I haven't seen a single highlight or anything from him. So I feel like it's been all Edgecombe.
Yeah. No, Edgecombe's the guy on this team for sure.
I thought Roach was the guy and the Edgecombe was number 2. Was I just
Roach
wrong?
was going to be the guy, and he got injured. And he's
I was going to say, yeah, he's had injuries and stuff like that, and he hasn't really got his feet under him. But, we'll see. He has been playing like shit, yes.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, Trev.
No, you guys are good. But I like Colorado here. I think they keep this close. I think they can get it done. I mean, we saw what Colorado did when they had a team that doesn't play defense come in UCF. They put up 76 and won by 13. Baylor's defense, not great. They're not an elite unit. So I think Colorado can hang here. I'm not necessarily saying they win. I think they have a good chance to, but you're going to give me it's 6.5 now. So 3 possessions with Colorado at home when they have size length advantage. Down low, they'll have a huge size advantage with what's the dude's name? Banggot or something.
Baskin or
Banggot Dak.
Oh yeah, Dak. Oh yeah.
Dak. Yeah. So this is the one Dak I do like. I think he's going to be good. I think he's solid. So I'll take Colorado here. I may bet it, especially if we're getting 6.5 now. I like it.
So a couple comments here. Christopher Bench says, I don't see a graphic for McNeese, Texas Corpus Christi, but don't sleep on the Islanders on the money line. Yeah, McNeese, Corpus Christi didn't make the cut. Someone said there's no sharps on Colorado. Circle open 5.5 is now 6. When I say sharp, I mean like ballsy. I know that not necessarily fading the heavy public side is not always in line with the sharp action. I get that. When I maybe sharp is not the correct word to use.
Satire.
Yeah, like just like super contrarian is more how I mean it than actual sharp in terms of being in line with the sharp action. Next up, Washington on the road at Iowa here.
Trevor wants to bet Washington. I can see it on his face.
Oh my God, dude.
Trevor, before I pass you the ball here, just a question about this line. Washington catching 6.5. What on God's green earth is going on where Iowa's laying 6.5 points?
I know. Fuck. This line is the worst of the day in my opinion.
Baylor's
Who the
worse.
hell is laying 6.5?
Second to Baylor's worse.
Fair, I'll give you that. Who the fuck is laying 6.5 with Iowa? Who? God damn.
Not me. No way.
I want to lay it with Iowa. Bad. I do. But I think Washington will have the advantage down low. They have guards. I mean, DJ Davis can pop off and go for 25, which he can do today. Iowa plays no defense, but this number is disgusting. It's telling you probably bet Iowa. I mean, they're laying 6.5 at home. I don't know when the last time they even won a game was, let alone they're going to be catching or laying 6.5 here.
They beat Rutgers.
Okay, sweet. Beat Rutgers,
I mean,
awesome. And
there.
Penn State. And Penn State was a 1-point win. Nebraska, IU to start the season. But man, this is disgusting. I'll put me down for Iowa. If I had to bet this game, I'd bet Great Osibor points and rebounds. I don't even know what that line is. He should have a fucking monster day against this team here. If I could find this. I don't even see it. Well, whatever the points, rebounds are, I would like that. I think he's going to have a monster day down low. There's really no size for Iowa. Osibor is a heavy part of this offense too. He gets the ball inside. He passes it out. He'll crash the glass. So I would rather play Osibor points, rebounds over a side in this game personally. But
I'm putting Washington up. You can't lay more than 2 possessions with a team that doesn't play any defense. Helms mentioned it's a bad travel spot for Washington. Really don't care. Iowa can't stop anybody. Bender shared some really sharp analysis here. He said, I'd rather eat a mayonnaise sandwich dunked in skim milk and soggy white bread than to bet this game. Thought that was a sharp take. Toast.
Yeah, I would love to be on. It'd be Washington or pass for me. I don't think Washington has been absolutely terrible over the last month. I mean, they kind of caught a buzzsaw at home against Nebraska. They got absolutely blown out by 30 against Iowa State, and then they lost a home game to Rutgers in overtime that could have kind of went either way. But I do agree with Helms. It is a shit travel spot after playing 2 games on the road, then going home, and then having to travel back out to Iowa. So. But they've made a couple of these trips in the past. But again, in what world is Iowa a 6.5 point favorite? So maybe if you like Iowa, I would play the over because the over is at 158.5. That's a very high total for especially for a Washington team that not only is terrible offensively, but it runs at a very slow pace as well. So it looks like there's probably going to be points. So it would be over a pass for me, I guess, if I had to choose. But I really want to bet Washington.
60%. We're polling over 60% on Iowa. Everyone's taking the Hawkeyes as more than 2 possession favorites, man. That should come with like a warning message when you try to click confirm on Iowa minus 6.5. Something will pop up and be like, dude, you sure?
You can pretty much copy my last analysis and paste it for this one as well. Like, what?
Nah,
I get Virginia sucks, but still, they're going to grind this game out to a freaking...
I don't know. I know you guys are both going to take Virginia. You're both going to talk about how North Carolina shouldn't be laying these big numbers, but you know what? We said that the other night. Maybe North Carolina's getting their shit together. Virginia sucked. They're bad.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just not in a position where I'm going to lay 10.5 points or 9.5, whatever the number is now. With North Carolina. So could they win this game and cover? Possibly, but Virginia one of the slowest, if not the slowest team in the country that actually can play a little bit of defense. So I wouldn't be trusting, not to mention the fact that Virginia has such a huge size advantage. They're going to probably have a pretty decent rebounding advantage as well. Virginia doesn't turn the ball over. North Carolina has turnover issues on both sides of the ball. It'd be Virginia or pass for me.
North Carolina. Trevor.
Yeah, no. Congratulations, North Carolina, for beating the shit out of NC State. Real sick. Congratulations, big win. But yeah, Virginia coming off of a pretty pitiful performance against Duke. Pretty bad.
All their performances are pretty pitiful.
Hey, I mean, they lost to Vatech by 1. You know, it was a tight game.
Oh, and also that's not fair. I was going to say that's not fair. Before the Duke game, they were on a 3-game winning streak.
Against who?
Pitt, Georgia Tech, who's hot right now. I mean, they've got some wins.
Oh, my bad. I forgot to beat Georgia Tech. You're right.
Hey, Georgia Tech's been hot, man.
We're polling on Virginia too, dude.
I'm not betting it because of that reason, but I'm just saying, like, if we were polling heavy on North Carolina, it would be a bet.
I mean, North Carolina just shot 40% from 3 and 66% inside the arc. Good luck shooting 66% against Virginia inside the arc. If they come out and they light them up from 3 again, so be it. But North Carolina, one game they show up, and all of a sudden now let's lay almost double digits with them. Get out of here. Give me Virginia. This is going to be a disgusting game. I think North Carolina's defense is pretty bad, and Virginia has shown that they can pop up and score points randomly. I think after a Duke game, which they got buzzsawed, I think Virginia shows up here. I think they keep this game close. I'll go out on a limb here. I think they have a chance to win this game. UNC is terrible. Terrible. Congrats on playing one good game. Let's see you do 2 in a row. I'll eat crow if they do, but I think Virginia's going to keep this within the number for sure.
You are right about one thing. It will be an ugly game. Final score 62-50. Next up,
Virginia.
Georgia, Auburn, 16.5. I don't really know. I guess Auburn, right? I really don't know.
Georgia on the road has just been so freaking bad. I don't really want to. I do kind of feel like Georgia should be able to again, Georgia on the road is really bad, but I do feel like Georgia should be able to match up somewhat decent against Auburn, just because they can. I mean, height-wise, I think that's going to be huge with guys like Newell and stuff like that. I think they can play defense on guys like Broom and Chad Baker-Mazara and stuff like that. But I'm not in a habit of trying to step in front of Auburn, especially at the Jungle. So you can put up Georgia for me. I'm not betting this. But again, I do think that Georgia can slow this game down. They can I think they can play even, if not have an advantage on the boards. If they want to play. Georgia's been so bad on the road. It's just really hard to be confident betting this team on the road.
It's got to be Auburn, right, Trev? I don't know what he's talking about. Auburn, he usually sings welcome. He sings Guns N' Roses.
Dude, I love Welcome to the Jungle.
So why are you taking Georgia?
I can't, because I honestly feel like Georgia matches up well with them, and I can't. Yeah, I'm telling you how I feel.
That's how he feels, Trevor. How do you feel?
I like Auburn here. I'm not going to bet it, but Auburn just laid this number against Arkansas, which was very disrespectful, incredibly disrespectful. And Arkansas was live to win the game there late. You know, if Avicic showed up in that game, Auburn loses that game. So I think, they got their scare. They were off of the Bama game. I think they roll. I said it was I'll rephrase it. This is going to be their fuck 'em up game of the day. I think Auburn gets it done, but I don't want to bet it. Obviously, Auburn's incredibly public, as it always is at the Jungle, and them being number 1. But they got the scare at Georgia last time. Janai Broom got hurt in that game. Now you got Georgia hitting the road, who's been pretty awful. I know they went to Arkansas and lost by 3, but other than that, they get smoked on the road. So I think Arkansas gets it done. They're going to have the size, the length, the guards, the environment. I just don't want to bet it. This line's sat here, which scares me. But there's no way I would personally bet Georgia, especially on the road. I get it's a big number. I get they played them tight, but there was injuries. That was at home, where we know Georgia, LSU, and South Carolina all play better and so much worse on the road. So Auburn or nothing for me in this one.
Let's go to the next game. I'm not betting that either. Next game is Virginia Tech Miami, and straight up, I'm a Canes guy now, through and through. The Canes came through for me. I took them plus 8.5 against the Noles. Loved it. Covered by the hook. Just great game from the Canes. I'm going to put Miami up for myself, and I'd be down to bet it. We'll see what these guys are taking. I need to go get another sleeve of Nicorette gum. It's upstairs, so I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Trevor, you've been fading Miami this whole year. What say you?
I mean, come to no surprise here. I'm going to be faded. Virginia Tech just put up, 34 points or some shit against Boston College. Who in their right mind wants to bet Virginia Tech? Like, dude, they're off.
Not only that, they scored 11 points in the first half. 11. Like, what?
I could play blindfolded and shoot for 20 minutes and score more.
I was going to say, I feel like me, you, Sauce, Beaver, and a random person out of the comments could put up 11 in 20 minutes. That's just so bad.
It was terrible. And then they followed up with another terrible second half where they put up like 24 points or some shit. But Miami's terrible. We're laying points with get out of here. No shot. Virginia Tech's going to show up. No one wants to bet Virginia Tech after that last game. That everyone's going to fade them. They're like, all right, Miami's figured it out. They're starting to play better. Virginia Tech just got beat the shit out of them on the road at Boston College. Guess what? Boston College only scored 52. So it was just an all-time bad performance from Vatek. Hokies get it done here. This is disrespectful. They're going to win on the money line, but if you're going to give me a possession, I'll take it. Maybe we all go home happy again, a 1-point Miami win, but Virginia Tech's going to put up points. I don't hate a team total over for Vatek either. I mean, especially after that last game, and you're playing Miami for Christ's sake. It's not like you're running into a defensive buzzsaw. I'll take Virginia Tech. Probably going to bet this one too. I'm going to need to bet it. Maybe we'll all go home happy, just like the last Florida State Miami game where I had 7.5, you guys had 8.5, and we landed on that perfect number.
What'd you guys take?
Now I want to see what the team total is. Vatek team total 72.5.
They're putting up points.
You guys are fading the Canes. They're kind of hot.
Are they?
They're laying points.
They just covered.
Yeah, barely.
Virginia Tech's not good.
I agree. But this is, again, it's like a soft spot. It's one of those spots where we were talking about how they just scored 36 points in the game. They had 11 points in the first half against Boston College. And now everybody's looking at Miami like, oh, they're playing kind of good. They might be able to play. I don't really see it. I would be on Virginia Tech here personally. So I think that they should be able to bounce back here. So again, no chance in hell. I lay 2.5 with Miami. No chance in hell.
Sharp spot to play the Canes for sure. Let's go to the next game.
Fucking Canes.
Gators on the road.
Florida.
From one swamp to another.
Touche.
Swamp on swamp crime right here. 10.5. It's up to. It was 9.5 last night when they were talking about it on the Pump Fake Pod. It's tough because LSU is feisty at home. We talked about it. I mean, is anyone going to be surprised if Florida wins this game by 35 points?
Nope.
Nope. Are you taking the Gators?
I don't know, man. I just, and the only reason I say I don't know is that you're just getting, not that it's not like
what
Florida.
about this? Over.
Yeah, that would be more safe with that. I don't really know what to expect from Florida. They've been so good, but they did just have two really, really good games at home against South Carolina and Oklahoma. I mean, obviously, I know that you were on Oklahoma, but I don't have to tell everybody how good they shot or how good they played in that Oklahoma game. I mean, they really couldn't miss. So shot almost 40% from deep, almost 55% from the field. So clearly they were in their own game on the road, but Florida hasn't really been terrible on the road either. I mean, they beat Auburn. They beat Mississippi State. They lost to Tennessee. They beat South Carolina by 1. They beat Arkansas by 8 or 9 or something like that, and then they lost to Kentucky. So it hasn't really been super bad on the road. played upper echelon competition. But again, I don't really know what to expect from this LSU team because when they have stepped up in competition, it hasn't been great. The only time that they really looked good against competition was, I guess you could say they looked somewhat decent against Auburn and somewhat decent against Ole Miss. They lost both those games. The Ole Miss game was closer, but yeah, I mean, I would love this game if this was like LSU's last home game or second to last home game, but they got 3 more home games left, one against Florida, or this game, one against Tennessee, one against Texas A&M. I don't know, man. I just, it's hard for me to get to LSU, find a reason to get to LSU. It'd be Florida or pass.
Trev?
I feel like I've had a pretty good read on this LSU team all year, for the most part, minus that Auburn game, which they probably should have covered. But yeah, I'm not gonna hop in front of a Florida train. Like I get this line's a little short. I get LSU's better at home, but man, I've tried to get sharp a few times this year and fade Florida. It just
doesn't work out.
Doesn't work out. They've fucked teams up. So I know they're coming off of again, like what was that, Georgia and or Oklahoma, South Carolina at home, so not great, but they've hit the road. They've gotten big wins. They've gotten it done by margin too. So I'll take Florida. I think maybe LSU first half they hang around, and then that Florida team just, they make shots. LSU struggles too. Eventually, I think that's going to rear its ugly head, and Florida probably pulls this one and wins by like 11 or 12. I said last night that I feel like it's going to be a tight game. Florida will be borderline covering majority of the game, like 8 to 6 point game, and then that final 4 minutes, 5 minutes, LSU struggles to make shots, and Florida kind of pulls away and gets it done. So that's where I'm sitting. I'll take Florida, but I won't bet it. I like LSU at home, so I'm not going to fade my Tigers at home.
Yeah, I want to take LSU, but
I was going to say the only reason that I don't like the over is neither one of these teams are very good at the free throw line, and both these teams, LSU and Florida, really good at free throw rate, so they don't really send other teams to the line that much as well. So
yeah, Florida. I mean, I'm kind of scared of Florida. I watched that whole game against Oklahoma because I had Oklahoma in the last one, and that kid, he's got to be like a 6-foot white kid, like stepped into a contested 27-footer and buried it, and then the next possession he did the same exact shit, like full. Like, okay, yeah, this team is just loaded.
I have a Final Four ticket for them.
Florida? Mm-hmm. Very nice.
That was before I did that like 2 weeks before the Golden News, the original bad Golden News hit. And I was like, we're good now.
Kentucky's live.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know about live, but they probably can cover. Go ahead, Trevor. I'm on the over, Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, this Alabama team total, I kind of like it, but it's ridiculous. Like they have to score 100.
It's like 9. It's like an NBA team total.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, like, I like it. I don't know if I like it a lot. If I had to pick something in this game, I'm starting to lean more towards, and it pains me to say this. Like, it pains me. Like, it depresses me. I'd lean Kentucky. They'll be able to hit threes. They'll be able to hit threes against this defense. I know a lot of people are going to expect Alabama to bounce back after those losses at home against a Kentucky team that doesn't play defense, but neither does Alabama. I think Alabama probably gets this game done by like 6 or 7 maybe. I think Kentucky probably covers the original line here. Both teams can easily score 90 in this game, but that's a scary number to bet the over with. So I'll take Kentucky. I mean, they've played without Butler and Robinson, so I think they'll be all right. But I want no part of this game. I'll watch it, but I can't put my hard-earned money on Kentucky of all people.
I know Toast is on the over, and he likes it.
Yeah, I love the over. Played it as soon as it opened at 177. I said it in the video last night. I feel like high totals are high for a reason. Low totals are low for a reason. Really quickly, Kentucky on the road in SEC games, shooting nearly a 40% clip from deep, almost 56% effective field goal percentage, and offensive rating at almost 113. Alabama at home in the SEC, 42% from deep, 60% effective field goal percentage, and almost 128 offensive rating. Alabama off a loss has just been absolutely insane. Almost a 122 offensive rating, almost 17 points in the fast break. Kentucky's offense versus teams in pace, again, there's just every single angle that you could possibly look at tells you points. So I honestly believe that it was a really easy cap for me because I honestly think that Alabama puts up 100 because that's just what they do off of a loss. And as long as I get Kentucky being somewhat decent, I think this game should go over. So I'm not worried about the high total. I played 177. I'd play it to 180.
Next game, 8 games were made. We're actually right on time. We're going to finish about 15 minutes before tip, which is what the plan was. Santa Clara, Washington State. I like Washington State here. I mean, Santa Clara is the better team, but on the road in Pullman.
And a small number.
Yeah, I think this is a spot you take Washington State.
Dude, not only that, Washington. I love the spot for Washington State. They just played the 2 top teams in the conference, so it's not like now you're actually getting Santa Clara as a legit step down in class for them, and they're at home.
Yeah, I think Trevor's on Santa Clara. Oh no, I think it was Elliott that's on Santa Clara. Tosh, you like Washington State, right?
Yeah, dude, I do. And if Trevor can co-sign it, I will actually make the bet.
I'm going to bet this one. I'm adding
Okay,
it.
I'll do it with you.
I'm taking Penn State off. I'm not betting Penn State. I'm taking Penn State off.
Do it. Let's do it both together.
I'm not taking Penn State. Dude, my list is getting long. I have like 18. I'm not stopping the stream and placing 15 bets, dude.
Well, I didn't expect you to stop the stream.
No, I'm saying like I'm going to bet these as soon as we're done.
Because you don't want to win.
I need to keep the list at a reasonable size.
I got you.
So Penn State's out. I'm going to bet Washington State. Trevor?
Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, Washington State for me too. I had Santa Clara last game. Their best player, Adama Alpha Ball, elite name by the way, got hurt 30 seconds in with a non-contact injury. He came back with crutches. So he was laughing and joking around. So maybe it's not as serious as we think, but he's definitely probably. I'll say it. He's definitely not going to play today after that. I think they used their injury bump game then, especially since he got hurt 30 seconds in. Best player, leads the team in points, assists, and 3-point percentage. So without him on the floor, on the road, I think they're going to find it a little difficult to get it done here. So I'll take Wazoo. I think they win the game, but again, we're going to get a possession at home. I'll take Wazoo.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Next game is. This line is so disrespectful.
Very.
This line should be Gonzaga -2.
Oh, that's a lot of respect. Thank you. Thought for sure you were going to say St. Mary's -2.
I'd still bet St. Mary's at that number.
I know you would.
I would love it even more if they were, to be honest.
No, I mean, in the last,
I know, right?
The last two times the last time these two teams played, I bet Gonzaga -1. It closed to like 3. And I was like, oh, it's a spot for Gonzaga. I'm a St. Mary's guy, but this is a spot. And they freaking lost. Like, they're laying 6.5 now. I get to a team that plays much better defense, that's better coached. Gales.
Trevor?
Yeah, St. Mary's. St. Mary's has played Gonzaga really tough. They kind of had their number as of late. The Bennett Bros know what they're doing against this Gonzaga team. So I'll take St. Mary's here. This is at most going to be like a 1-possession game either way. This game's going to finish like 64 to like 65, 66, somewhere around there. This total feels pretty high. I don't bet totals because they hate me. So I would lean under, but no bet on that for me. But yeah, this is going to be a tight game. Neither team's going to have more than a 5-6 point lead the entire game.
So
sevens are popping up for fucking St. Mary's.
I wonder if anyone, like, we've made the Bennett brothers joke so many times that we don't even laugh when we say it now. I wonder if people are like, do you know that there's 2? Like,
I just let it go because it makes me happy in the inside a little bit.
For those of you that don't know the joke, I accidentally said Reggie Bennett instead of Randy Bennett one time. So I played it off like it was his brother that was on the training staff. Whatever. We since been making the joke where they're like, it's to the point where people might be like, oh shit, I didn't know there were brothers. But anyway, go ahead, Toast.
You guys know I love Gonzaga, but there's no chance in. I mean, it's up to 7 on Caesars now. Like, there's just no chance in hell. I mean,
why?
Even,
I don't get why.
Either do I. Trust me. It doesn't make any sense to me either. So I trust me. If I had reasons to come up here and tell you why Gonzaga will win this game by 7 points more, I would definitely have them. But I don't have them. So I do think Gonzaga wins the game. Is there any chance in hell I lay 6.5? Absolutely not. Even 142, that total seems extremely high, right, Trevor? Like, doesn't that seem really, really high? Again, I don't really love it. Just for the record, this total is at 142.5. The last 5 times these two teams have played, 140, 142, 139, 146, and that game that with 146 went under super, super easy. So I would say under and St. Mary's as the plays here. So again, I think that Gonzaga probably wins this game, but there's no chance in hell. I mean, at 7, especially 7 on Caesars right now, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Let's go to the next game. And next one up, a lot of people are betting this one. So we got Missouri on the road at Arkansas, and I think this may be a candidate for the fake sharp play of the day. Go ahead. You guys are on the same shit. You guys are on the fake sharp side of the day. Go ahead, fake sharps. Take it away.
I'm on Arkansas here today. I really like this spot for them. I think they match up really well. Missouri against top 30 defenses. First of all, Arkansas defensively is like at a top 5, top 10 level over the last month. Their defense has really been playing well. And then Missouri on the road, or Missouri just in general against top 30 KenPom defenses, hasn't really been that great. They get a lot of possessions or a lot of points off of their fast break. They're not going to be able to do that. Arkansas really does one of the best teams in the country in limiting transition. And then Missouri against those top 30 defenses, under a 47% effective field goal percentage. They don't shoot the 3 well. And Arkansas at home in SEC, their defense has been awesome. Teams only shooting close to 30% from deep against them. Effective field goal percentage under 50%. An offensive rating that's barely over 100. So Arkansas defensively at home has been really, really good. Another thing that I think that Missouri's been kind of relying on is getting to the free throw line. They've done a really good job of getting to the line, but when they're at the line, they're only shooting 75%, which is 11th in the SEC. And the one thing that the reason I want to talk about that is because Arkansas has figured out, now that they started playing together and playing like more of a team defense, they're not sending teams to the line. They're only sending teams to the line they have a free throw rate of 25.66%. That's not just sending teams to the line, but their free throw rate at 26% is one of the best in the country. So I just don't feel like if you take away Missouri at the free throw line and Missouri in transition, I think they're really going to struggle here today. Not to mention the fact, the more that I read about is like in the weeds as far as Missouri and off ball and trying to get that. A lot of things match up really well for Arkansas here today. So I like Arkansas. I don't know what the number is now. I got them at 2.5 and plus 130 on the money line. I go Hogs.
I think it's 1.5 now, and Trevor's on the same side.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? Like, this Arkansas team is good. They got that win against Georgia.
Don't do that, Kyle. They've been playing.
What did they lost? They lost 3 of their last 4. Missouri's cruising.
Auburn,
right
A&M, and Alabama.
I was going to say
Alabama was a 4-point loss. Auburn was a 7-point loss on the road.
Missouri, you could throw their name in with those teams.
Yeah, Missouri. I will give you that. Missouri's like one of those teams that everybody's starting to like for futures as far as in March. Yes.
Yeah. Missouri's been good all year. They've gotten no respect, and now they go and do that to Alabama. Now everybody loves Missouri. Now Missouri's only laying 1.5 on the road after they just beat Alabama like that. No, they just put up 110. They're not going to do that. Arkansas is going to make them play a different style of game here. And if Avicic, showed up against Auburn, Arkansas is off an Auburn win. So I like Arkansas here. I said fuck the points. Give me the money line. They're going to win this game. They need this game for bubble purposes and whatnot. They're playing really good. This is a textbook letdown for Missouri. You just put up 110 at home, and Mark Mitchell went for 31, which is a rare occurrence. I know he went for 25 earlier, but that's not what he does. He doesn't drop 25, 30. He's not John Tanji. So
look at what he did against Tennessee and Texas A&M. Nothing.
Yeah, this is an Arkansas spot, man. They almost had Auburn. Now you get your chance again at another elite team in the SEC, and they're going to get it done here. This is my biggest bet of the day. Is going to be Arkansas money line. Don't even overthink it. Hogs up. They're the better team. Give me the Hogs.
Give me the Hogs. He's like, Missouri here past there. Arkansas feels fake sharp. Next up,
I did get 30 cents of CLV with my money line, so what could go wrong?
The disrespect that the Illinois program has gotten is crazy.
To be fair, you do hate this team. Don't even try to act like you do.
I don't particularly like them, but I'm not going to pretend like they're not good. All right, Trevor, let me ask you something. Is Illinois better than Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Is Illinois better than Boston College?
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing? Illinois up. Illini. What are the Duke plays in? I mean, the AFC South here. They play in the NL Central. They play amongst the garbage. Illinois.
Yeah, I played Illinois plus 9.5 too. Trevor, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I don't think I actually know your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, no, Illinois is a fraud. I mean, fraud's a strong. They're a bad team. Like, they're not good, but they are better than 90% of the ACC. Like, that's not even. I'm on Illinois. I'm on Illinois.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh no, but you just said that they're not good.
No, they're bad, but they're still better than 90% of the ACC. Like, they're not as good as Clemson, Louisville, and Duke. I'll give you that. But Illinois should be able to get this done. They got the size, the length to go with them. Duke hasn't played anybody real. I know that Clemson game, that's it, and they lost. But don't get me wrong, I hate Illinois. Like, they're not good, but they're better than what Duke's been seeing. And they'll have size and length to combat with them. Illinois, I'm not saying they win this game, but I think it's going to be a tight, 4 or 5 point game throughout. If they slow down Cooper Flagg with Jakachonis or whatever the hell the dude's name is, they'll find success. But if they just like Cooper Flagg just run wild, it's going to be a long day for them. But at the Garden, both teams are going to be at a shooting disadvantage. I think it comes down to defense. And, Illinois can, again, size and length. So I think this is going to go under. I think it's more of a two-possession, three-possession game at most in this one. This is just an overreaction to what Illinois has been doing in the Big Ten. Give me Illinois. I got 9.5 last night also.
We're polling at about 59% Duke. So as far as the viewers, they are leaning towards Duke.
I guess I just wanted to touch on the fact that I understand that Duke has been really good in the ACC, but at the same time, the Big Ten is probably, I don't even think it's a question. Well, them and the Big 12 but is right behind the SEC as best conferences in the country. So when you're playing well or not looking good in those conferences, I mean, kind of with a grain of salt, because it's a really, really hard schedule. And again, like Trevor said, I like the fact that Illinois can match up well with this team. The one thing that Duke usually has on team is their size. They're the biggest team in the country, but Illinois is pretty big too. I mean, Jakachonis is 6'6". My boy, my acne-faced assassin, Will Riley, 6'8". Avila Schitz is 7'1". Trey White, 6'7". All these guys are really big. So I do think they can match up well. And another thing that I like about Illinois, that it's going to be in Madison Square Garden, is Illinois doesn't really rely on the three ball a lot. So they're going to be pounding inside, which I think is going to come up big, because I know that Duke's defense is really good, but if any of those guys are in foul trouble, that can really could present a lot of problems. So I also like the fact that Illinois can shoot their free throws along with Duke as well. I just think that these teams are a lot more evenly matched than people give them credit for, because like both of these guys have said, Duke hasn't played anybody besides Clemson since January 4th against SMU, and I don't think anybody's arguing that Illinois is probably head and shoulders better than SMU. So and besides that the last game was December 4th against Auburn, and that game was at home. So Duke on a neutral hasn't, or on the road, really hasn't been tested like this at all in a very long time. So do I think Duke probably wins this game? Yeah, but I'd definitely bet Illinois at 9.5.
Yeah, I switched game. I didn't realize that you didn't go.
You're good.
We're now on to the next game. It's Butler DePaul. Do the right thing here, guys. We're pulling. Everyone's picking Butler. Everyone.
Really?
We're pulling at 75% Butler.
I actually don't really hate DePaul, and the only reason I say that
you don't hate DePaul. This is a smash spot.
The reason that I say that is because, yes, they've been absolutely terrible, but look at the last 4 games that they've played. Villanova, Marquette, Xavier, St. John's, and I know that Villanova's not bad, but Xavier is a pretty decent team that's been playing pretty good basketball right now. So I know they got kind of mollywopped there on the road, but at the same time, I mean, it's really, I like to say, like, there's not a lot of teams that play Villanova, Marquette, Xavier, St. John's is going to look good in all those games. So I don't really put too much stock into that. I just don't think that Butler's that good at all. I think Thad Matt is absolutely terrible. I stand on that. They've won 3 of their last 4 against really bad teams. DePaul's bad, but DePaul is at home. I would lean DePaul here at this short number, especially getting 4.5.
Trevor, Blue Demons up?
Yeah, but you guys don't want me on DePaul. Like, I can't pick Butler right. Like, if I bet DePaul,
I'm not betting it, so it's going to
be Butler.
We're not afraid of ghosts here, Trevor.
Wait till you see the ghost of Butler's past with me. Butler, oh God, I hate that team so much. They're so infuriating. They've been playing better down the stretch here. I'll give it to them, but DePaul, just this number kind of feels like it's kind of telling. I believe there's going to be Skogman's going to be out or something for DePaul too, so they're going to be down some guys. But regardless, I can't get past it. Like, something's just telling me it's DePaul. So I'll take DePaul. I got no real strong conviction. Just be fully aware that whatever bet I would pick or place in a Butler game goes opposite. So just fair warning on that.
I mean, Butler won by 20 the first time, and now this number is under 2 possessions.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Texas, South Carolina. South Carolina's been covering the numbers at home. They don't win many of them. Or any of them, but they've been covering. But this is a super short line. Does South Carolina get their? Have they grabbed an SEC win yet?
No, 0-13.
Do they get their first conference win here?
Until tonight.
Not
Cox up
tonight.
I played Cox plus 2.5 and plus 130 on the money line. A wise man once told me, and I take a lot of information from this man, you can bet Rodney Terry when there's a plus in front of his name, but you do not bet Rodney Terry when there is a minus in front of his name. And I truly believe that to be the case. I don't always follow that rule, but I do think that that's a very good rule to have. And you're getting Texas coming off a really big game for them, beating Kentucky. They almost kind of gave that game away, and then they kind of really came back and fought well, obviously, and won that game. And now they got to go on the road to South Carolina. Is South Carolina 0-13 in conference play? Yeah, but they have a 4-point loss to Mississippi at home. They have a 4-point loss to Texas A&M at home, 5 points to Mississippi State, 1 point to Florida, 3 points to Auburn, and then they got smashed by Alabama. But their last 4 or 5 home games, they've been playing really, really good in games that kind of essentially coin flip games that they should win. I think this is the spot. They have this game, Arkansas and Georgia left. I think they can steal a couple wins here late in this conference play. So South Carolina at home, I will definitely take them plus the points. I just think it's a really good spot for them. And I actually don't even feel like South Carolina has been playing that bad. It's just that they've kind of been in bad spots. I mean, on the road in Florida, you lose by 16, 17 or whatever. The LSU game isn't bad, but that Florida game isn't that bad. Florida beats everybody by those. So I don't even really think that South Carolina is playing that bad. So I think South Carolina figures it out today and finally gets a win.
Trev?
Yeah, I'm with him. The only reason I didn't play money line is because I can see South Carolina blowing a lead and winning by or losing by like 1 or 2. So I took the 2.5, but I'm with him. Everything he just said, ditto for me. South Carolina, they're not good, but they play better at home. Like, they've caught some teams sleeping and gave them a game. So I think Texas is kind of going to be sleepwalking this one. I like the cock up. Let's get it done. 2.5. Let's take it.
Cock up.
Let's do it for Scoop, guys.
I'm not taking South Carolina. I really like South Carolina in their last game. Thought it was a super sneaky spot to take them. Wasn't even close.
And they burned everybody. Now's the spot.
This is like,
BYU Arizona. This might be a beatdown.
Yep.
You agree with that?
For who?
Oh my God! The fact that you had to ask means you're on the wrong.
Dude,
side.
you love BYU. Don't play like you don't.
I love BYU in the elevation.
Put the logo of Arizona under your name.
I am. I'm betting Arizona.
I don't like Arizona too. I like Arizona first half personally. But
Arizona might win this one by 20 plus. Trevor agrees. See, he's nodding.
Yeah, I mean, you were just up 60 on Kansas at home.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something about Trevor. He would lay 34 points with Arizona at McHale if he could. So just want to throw that out there. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, don't underestimate McHale, man. This place gets rocking. They could hit some fucking free throws. They would have beat Houston last.
I know, right? Those bastards.
Those fucking guys. But you know, this is BYU coming down from the elevation. You were up like damn near 60 on Kansas. Like you're riding high. You were hitting everything. They were bitching Hunter Dickinson down low, grabbing out every offensive rebound. That shit ain't happening today against these Euros and shit that Arizona has. This is an Arizona beatdown, double digits, easy. BYU, congratulations on the Kansas. You know, that shit was free. -3 was disrespectful for them at home against a bad Kansas team. But now what? Guess what? You got to go play a good team. I'm sorry, not a good team, a great team in a ridiculous environment. At night, too, where everyone's going to be fucking rocking and hammed up. They definitely should have played Houston
Hold
at
on.
night.
You say they're going to be hammed up?
Drunk. Drunk as shit.
Oh, hammed up. Got it.
Hammed up, yep. There's going to be a lot of vinegar in their piss tonight. This is Arizona by double digits easy.
So he thinks Arizona's going to be hammed up with vinegar in their piss.
Oh, yeah. That place is going to be rocking.
Toast, do you agree that they're going to be hammed up tonight?
I do feel like they're going to be hammed up tonight. I like Arizona, and I wouldn't mind Arizona, or I wouldn't mind the over either. Just because BYU offensively, even if they're down, they're going to be just raining three balls as much as possible. So that's the only reason why I want to say the over. But I agree. I like Arizona first half better. You have Arizona coming off a nice Baylor win, not to mention the fact they just lost at home to Houston. So I think they're going to be up for this game. And you have BYU coming off of 2 home games up in elevation where they really looked as good as they could possibly get. So yeah, I really like Arizona. I haven't figured out how I'm exactly going to play it. I'll probably end up playing the over in Arizona some way.
All right, let's move on to the next game, or the last game. We made it.
Really? Look at that.
Oh, no Air Force?
Oh, I didn't put it in there. I did bet Air Force though. I have no.
Did you guys really?
We all bet Air Force last night.
Oh my god! And you guys, did you pay like -120 or something?
Dude, they give like a speech on the show, and it was almost like a rallying thing. Like,
no, I get it. Fresno State's freaking terrible. Air Force at home. Fresno
no, it was the coach. Like, apparently the coach said something. I don't know.
Oh my god!
Fresno's also like their program's gonna die. They need $3,000. So Devontae Adams and Derek Carr have to step up and $3 million. Those two guys got to step up to save the program, and I'm not sure they will. So, I mean, Fresno's dying. No. Air Force at home, laying points. Fresno's fucking terrible. So this is it. This is for the troops. This is for all the riders that have been on Air Force and have gotten those covers, but haven't gotten that win. This is for them today. It's Air Force.
Yeah, I bet I tailed that shit.
Ooh, and Fresno's beat them 4 times in a row. It's only a matter of time before Air Force gets one. Okay, I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Cal on the road at Stanford. Last game of the show. Dude, I went heavy on Cal against Wake. Wasn't even close. Doesn't Cal kind of suck? Hey, they got their ass beat by Wake. Correct me if I'm wrong. This line's a little short, right? Like, I know Stanford's not elite, but they're much better than Cal.
I guess I don't know. If you would have asked me this a week ago or so, I would have agreed. But I mean, Stanford's kind of fallen off their last couple weeks. I mean, lost 4 of their last 5. Obviously, all those teams are, I guess, better than Cal. I guess that's not really saying much, but I'm not in a position where I feel like I want to lay that many points. Not to mention, I know that Cal has been dealing with some injuries. Is Stojakovic back and ready playing? Yeah, he's back and playing. What about Blackshear? Is he back and playing? Yeah, it would be Cal or pass for me. Blackshear's been freaking terrible. Good God. Holy cow. Anyway, it would only be Cal for me. I don't really feel comfortable laying multiple possessions with this Stanford team that's not playing well right now.
I'll put up Stanford, but this game is on late, so maybe if I'm
if we're having a good day or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys, like, this is an old Pac-12 rivalry. Like, no travel spot. It's going to be, I don't know, fucking like a couple hours away on a flight or a bus, whatever the hell they take. But this is an old Pac-12 rivalry. Stanford, I get they have an advantage with Renault down low, but that's about it for this Stanford team. Stojakovic is going to show up tonight. This is just too many points. Like, this game's going to be tight. You're giving me 3 possessions with Cal in a rivalry game. I get it's on the road and they haven't been great, but I'll take those 6.5 points. I think this game's tight. I think Cal's live to win the game, but I don't want to bet money on a Cal money line, but you're going to give me 3 possessions here. I'll take it. These two teams play tight, so don't overthink it. Take the points in a rivalry game that they've been playing forever. So
Cal sucks though.
This is just a classic ACC game, man. Like, this is beautiful.
A classic ACC team game. Oh, you were being sarcastic. I was like, dude, there's nothing classic ACC about this game. All right, thanks everyone for watching. If you're in the league, you got 16 minutes to submit your picks. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. Let's have ourselves a great one. Bet responsibly today, guys. If you want to see any of the bets, just go to Open Bets on the website. You guys already know that. Yeah.
Can I say one thing really quickly? Everybody who watched my video and left comments, I saw them all. I really, truly appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, and thank everyone else that tuned in last night. It was a fun show. I always appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun one.